As a parent, you're probably asking yourself this question: is my teen really ready for college? And you have every right to ask this question based on the college landscape today, where 45% of high school students, they don't feel prepared for college, for their future on campus. And let's be honest, the typical way that most kids are prepared for college and select a major, it sounds something like this. In their junior or their senior year of high school, their guidance counselor or their parents ask them to start thinking about their future, what they want to be and do. And because they've never done anything like this before, they don't know where to start. And because they don't know where to start, they actually just never do. And so they just end up worrying about adjusting socially on campus. And if they're capable of taking the responsibility to fully care for themselves, as well as if they're actually going to be able to perform academically at this next level. And all of this worry, it sucks their happiness and it sucks their energy. And so without the preparation they need, they struggle. And it's especially with choosing a major, because what ends up happening is they just get to college with no further clarity on what they want to do. And then they hope that a class they take is going to provide some insight, or there's going to be this miraculous moment where they say, oh yeah, that's it. I found my purpose and my passion. But it never happens. And then at the end of their sophomore year in college, they have to declare a major, but they don't have any more insight on how they want to spend their life than they did when they were a junior in high school. But because they have to pick something, they do. And in that moment, they decide their destiny, or at least that's what they believe. And that can be really scary. And then they end up potentially jumping from major to major for the next few years because of this fear of ending up somewhere that they don't want to be, or else they stick with a major that doesn't really fuel them with any excitement or energy, which then causes their grades to suffer, which then robs them of the joy of the college experience and the results that they need to create the life that they want. And so what is the result of our current process with this lack of preparation? Well, there's a 40% dropout rate from college across the United States today, and only 19% of college graduates are actually graduating in 4 years. Only 19%. And so the reality is that most are graduating in 6.2 years, adding a minimum of an extra $20,000 to $50,000 in expense to their student loans, or what's ultimately coming out of your retirement. And the worst part about all of this is that stats actually show that post-graduation, 45% of college graduates are actually unhappy with the major they've selected. And so now where they're going to spend 80% of their time, they're going to be unhappy. And this was my story. In high school, I was lost, trying to determine the right path for me. And meanwhile, I was filled with self-doubt, which caused me to doubt my ability to even be successful at college, academically, and also with my social life. And so I was in desperate need of guidance and support to really help me understand how to create my life and make the critical decisions that would end up impacting my entire life. But without that support, I ended up spending 7 years in college and thousands of extra dollars of my parents' retirement and my own student loans. And I felt like each decision I was making was leading me down the wrong path. And so I ended up trying to find a way to cope with my anxiety and my stress. And like most college students, I found those solutions readily available on campus. And that's alcohol and that's drugs. And that approach just led to more problems. And so after graduation, after 7 years, I ended up getting a job that I hated in a career that I felt was going to make for a terrible life. I remember thinking to myself, is this really it? Is this really what I worked for the last over 20 years in my education to achieve? And in that moment of darkness, I actually contemplated and then took action toward taking my own life. And luckily, I did so unsuccessfully. And so this is why I created Volition Academy, to ensure that every child is supported in this critical transitional period of their life and is fully prepared to meet the challenges on campus and not just survive the experience, but to thrive in it. And so Volition Academy is a leading-edge, transformational life coaching and mentoring company specifically focused on preparing college-bound teens to take ownership of their life by creating unshakable confidence within them so that they can develop a plan to be able to create an extraordinary life. And we deliver our programs 100% virtually, which allows the ease for you and your child to have the support which is accessible everywhere. And after the statistics I've shared with you, I think you agree with me that the college preparation process in the United States today is broken, and leaving it all up to the school systems and the guidance counselors, it's not creating the results our kids deserve. And the real problem is that we're asking teens to determine how to make a living, but we're not first teaching them how to make a life. And the reality is, before we teach them how to make a life, we first have to help them understand who they really are, the power that they have within themselves. So from there, they dream big as they choose their major and decide their life while learning not to settle in any area of it. And from there, we just have to then teach them some core concepts that are just not taught in high school, that once your child understands, it will make them unstoppable in achieving their goals and true happiness in their life. These core concepts that will allow them to have the success in their academics and in their career. It'll allow success in their friendships and in their relationships. It'll allow them to live a healthier and a happier life. And our clients consistently tell us how we have radically changed their lives, and we can do the same for your child. And so if you're interested in giving your child the actual skills to deliver on their extraordinary life, book a complimentary discovery call today by clicking on the link below so we can partner with you to start preparing your child for success on campus and beyond. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll talk to you real soon.